Welcome to another session of Rotmaw's Rant and Rave. I just named that. It's not really what we call it. So, patch just came out, 4.2, 4.1, whatever. I got a hot take list of all the shit that's gone wrong so far. Some stuff that's good, most stuff middle of the road, not great, right? So I'm just going to jump right into it here. The tower change. So in KVK, this is probably the best change to come out of the patch. The tower change that they have, which is they lowered the health of a certain tower upgrade from, so now you've got, instead of 125,000 hit points to remove from a tower, you have 105 hit points to remove. That takes, I think it's around 9 hours now or something like that. So overall, good change, accelerates the pace of play. You know, you can actually get a tower down in one session or cycle of play. Good change, IK. Probably the only good change. Probably the best change that I'd say. So this is great. This moves things forward in KVK. That's about it. That's all I can really say on that one. Moving on to the next key piece that they've got here, and that's the city change that they made. So the city change that they made, basically awesome. I crashed. That's fantastic. So the city change that they made is not a good change, and here's why this is not a good change. So for those of you that don't know, you're probably, if you're watching this, I'm sure you're aware, they revoked the connection between talent, abilities for your alliance versus your, that's it. They basically revoked that. So now any alliance that is, they tied it all to the Chronicle, right? Because the Chronicle is going to save everything. This is just pure lazy design. This is just an awful change. The reason being, any alliance now that comes in, any alliance that waddles in there waddles in can be at the exact same power level as any other clan or alliance that's in there. The whole idea of kingdom versus kingdom, at least in my opinion, is to have this escalation, to have this clash. You know, in our current server right now, we have two sides. We have 85 and 97 versus 28, 56, and 23, right? That's sort of the overall balance that's occurred in here. Now, what I think they were trying to do with this change is to balance and make it so that all kingdoms can come in and play. But what they've effectively done is ruin any of the strategic elements that existed from cities. Imagine if, when you're playing on your own server, your cities that you conquer no longer give you any power. They no longer give you any bonuses or any benefits. And that's effectively what they've done here with this KVK. So now I'm left to wonder, what the fuck are we doing dicking around taking cities anymore? Level 14s are incredibly punishing. You're going to lose a lot of troops. You're going to lose a lot of you're just going to lose a lot of resources and whatnot taking the city, right? And you're going to get some speed ups and shit like that. I don't know if it's actually mathematically worth it to get. Sure, it's okay for your free-to-players. And I'm speaking from the perspective of a smaller clan. Grudge is not a huge clan. Grudge is only about 35 to 50 actives on a good day, right? So coming from that perspective versus Kano, who's got, you know, probably close to 300 or 400 people in their clan, like their server is rocking. It's a more recent server, so the benefits there for them taking cities is obviously going to be a lot better. Any kind of a larger server, and perhaps that's what that's there for. But these cities that they've taken, like, there's no reason for us to go in here and take these back now. Like, we're not getting any strategic advantage. The only thing that they're getting is a bunch more speed ups and crap like that. So it's just like, well, what the fuck? Why should we even bother? This is a bad change. They should revert this change. They should tie it back into cities and maybe even make cities a little bit more important than they are right now. You need something to fight over. It's not just whack-a-mole towers, right? I hope I've made my point here with this stuff. Is like, otherwise you're just playing slap each other out of the tower. If there's no true gain here, right? If it's just you can essentially, arguably right now, with the way the game works, just dick around, flop some towers down, make sure you take the gate that lets you into the middle, into Midgard here, right? Take a capital and take Ymir. That's all you need to do to win KVK, right? That is not KVK. This is not KVK. They've completely neutered or castrated this event with this change, with these city changes. I'd love to hear thoughts on this stuff, by the way, if there's a counter argument to it. And again, this is a hot take, but I feel that this is a lazy design. I feel that this is something that they're, just tie it into the Chronicle and everything's going to be fine. Again, I understand that they're trying to keep the, 99 doesn't even exist anymore. We've locked them out. But so what? Like, it's survival of the fittest. This game is a PvP game, and there are other ways and other methods to fix what's going on here. You can give players a city and let them, defend it or what have you, if you really want to do it. I just don't think the desire is there for them to actually fix this in the correct manner that it needs to be fixed. Yeah, so I'm really disappointed with that change, and I really hope that IK reconsiders it, because it really just deflates KVK, especially for a competitive group such as ours. I have zero motivation to play to take cities now, especially going to take cities from other players. It's unfortunate, because with the tower change, that stuff's possible now, right? Like, oh, we could push in on 85. Oh, we could push in on 97. But I'm like, why bother? It really doesn't do anything at the end of the day. I mean, we're just going to be, since we already have our 10 cities, we're going to drop a city here and take a city up there. We're still getting the same amount of speed ups and whatnot. It's just like, okay, well, you denied them one crit speed up every 3 or 4 hours. Like, go fuck yourself. Who cares? Like, don't give a shit, right? All right. Now my next point, undocumented changes. So in a game that they've patched recently, Jezstar mentioned this. I was working with him on that patch that got him banned, actually, with the GK artifact change, purification not working, desire of life being worded incorrectly, guard being worded incorrectly. So it looks like they've gone in and they've fixed a lot of this stuff. I know GK's artifact confirmed is no longer bugged. I know that desire of life's wording has changed. It now says if there's a wound effect, not a damage over time effect. This is critical. That ability costs anywhere from $1,200 to $1,400, right? I personally would not have spent that amount of money on that ability, because wound is only activated on 2 immortals in the game. One of which is Quinn. Really don't care about Quinn. And the other one is GK, right? That is a very specific ability, unless they're planning on, slathering wound all over. And wound is don't get me wrong, wound is a terrible ability for this game, right? It is a binary ability that completely negates healing, and it shuts out a lot of support heroes. There's no other character, there's no other ability in the game that does this. Imagine if, like, silence was super prevalent. If there was an area effect silence, right, such as what Attila had when he was going, back when he was going crazy with his silences, and you could tell how powerful that is. There's no other ability in the game that completely locks out a character's ability to execute and be. So just Theo might as well not exist. And then to counter this, to counter wound, they've created another $1,400 ability in purification, right? Which up until this patch did not work, right? Which removes the abnormal states, and it didn't work, right? I remember I got this ability and I raised hell because, holy crap, the ability doesn't work, right? It's like I paid all this money to stop wound, and then it doesn't work. So at most mid-level players, most players are never going to have access to this ability, right? So you've got these blanket wounds completely shutting down Zenobia, Theo, any other healer that's in the game, or any other type of healing in the game, right? Just blanket wounds, right? It's just a terrible design. I digress. I can go into wound and the ability designs here, what's good and what's bad later, in a different rant. Anyway, undocumented changes. I do not understand. Like, as a developer, you want to be transparent with your fan base. For some reason, IK either does not want the bad press or to admit that they've done something wrong. It's a very, very backwards thing that they're doing. I don't understand the lack of transparency with it's going to do nothing but if they're transparent with the players, they're going to get nothing back but good stuff, right? Like, be more transparent with your players. If you're making changes to Manko's damage, right, that's fine. Just let us know. If you're making changes to Bjorn's healing ability, that's fine. Just let us know. Don't dick around with numbers and then, oh, hey, something changed. We don't know. Unless they just don't know what changes are going in, right? Like, the real problem that they've got is they're moving super fast. They're not testing these things, right? Things are going out at a super rapid pace. It's almost like, so let me stop, let me pause this. Normally in development, you have your development stage, which is cut off. Live does not, it's not a live environment. And then what you do is you push those changes to what's called staging. And staging is where you vet. It's a live server that very few people actually have access to, right? IK used to have a test server. I don't know why they shut it down. Maybe it was too much of a pain in the ass to run. Maybe it was costing them money. Whatever, for whatever reason, it wasn't a very good test server as well, because they threw you in there, they gave you some gold and stuff like that, and they're like, okay, here you go, have some fun. But you really weren't testing anything. You were just like looking around and checking abilities and stuff like that. Even that, though, would help, right? Like that whole process. But somewhere along the line, they've accelerated and gotten things going so fast now that they don't even bother testing, right? So you end up with all of these issues that we're having. When they push things live, people buy things, people get pissed off, people get upset because they're getting mostly broken things. That are just not working, right? So it's really unfortunate, and I do hope they bring back testing, or at least some sort of testing or staging server, so that these things can be vetted a little bit more ahead of time and get some player feedback in there too. It's okay for us to I'm going to be less cantankerous about changes that get brought across my plate. Just please be transparent with us. Let us know what you guys are changing under the hood so that we can help you, right? Yeah, document your bug fixes, guys. Seriously, there's so many changes that are going in, and I'm here. I know you guys know them, but I do not understand why, from a PR perspective, you guys are not saying, hey, we fixed this. There's a bunch of stuff that we fixed. Here's that list. The Triss Event. So the Triss Event's live right now. This is the third Triss Event in a row that's had the exact same stones in it. This is an aside. Apparently, IKVIP told me that it is a seasonal change. So after this KVK season, they will rotate those stones out, and there'll be different stones that could go in there. I don't know what that means. Yuzu is not very transparent with what that means. I mean, maybe we get Berserk, maybe we get an Armageddon, with that new season of things that's coming in. But that's just a sort of a service message to all you guys that are working on stones and stuff like that, is that once this season is over, those stones, I believe, I do not know, are going to go into the stores to be purchased, and then you'll need to use cinders to buy those. I'm not sure what they're going to do with artifacts. I'd assume that those are going to rotate around and you're going to be able to get those, but I don't know. Yuzu is not very transparent with this stuff, unfortunately. And I believe from a design perspective or from a development perspective, it's because they probably don't know what they're doing. Or at least they know right now, but it might not. What they decide now is not what they decide in the future. So the test arena training camp. This, in my opinion, is just a failure. You've got, and here's why. Ultimate Wind, right? I've got my Ultimate Wind here. So there's no Holy, there's no Shadow to test against. That's a failure. It says here that the Ultimate Fire is, I set the, let's go up here to Wind. I believe that one's set up. Wind, attributes, level 10, right? I go in here and I click on this stuff. And what do we have? The enemy loadout, Wind. Let's just start this fight. Stats. Let's look at these stats here on this. Looks like the Wind guy here is 50. They've got a level 40 dragon, but there's no customization here. There's no ability for me to move talents around that I've seen. Let's see, fixed enemy loadout. I don't know how to fix this. Attribute settings. Let's see. Can I move any of this around? No. Can I move this around? No. Can I, what do I do here? Like how do I build against this wind? There's a wind build that's kicking my ass, right? Like how do I do this? How do I upgrade my artifact to play against how do I play against my build? How do I play against Balthatas build? How do I play against Jezstar's build? Like these are the things that high level players are asking for and want. You guys went 50% of the way. Finish the thought, right? Like let's go. Let's get this finished here. So this is a failure in my opinion. This is a half-cooked feature that needs. I don't know why these are level 6. It's just like if you're saying this is level 50, right? Class, it looks like that's your boosted is 22 with no way for us to fix or change this. I don't know. Like is this just to feel good? It's like you want this. The reason for this is so that you can test against a build that is kicking your ass. And I'm sorry, but people that are losing to like level 6 abilities, that this is half-assed. Half-assed. This needs another pass on it. So this gets a D for me in terms of the execution. All right, this is going on a little bit long, so I'm just trying to wrap this up. Yuzu, you're moving too fast. You need to slow down. This was supposed to be a polish pass. This was supposed to be a polish patch. Half the people can't, well, not half the people, but all the iOS players haven't been able to play the game for the last day and a half. The patch was an absolute mess. I don't know what your versioning is and what your process is, but the game has been live for over a year now. You should have this down, your patching process, your testing process, all that kind of stuff. I don't know what the hell's going on, but it feels like the overall quality of the update pushes has diminished and is continuing to diminish. I'm just speculating here, but I'm assuming that Yuzu's A team has moved on from this project and is probably working on a different game right now, and that the live services team is the one that's taking over, and they're probably juggling multiple games. Typically, that's how that works with mobile games. But this is I give this probably like a D- in terms of a patch, right? With the one saving grace being the towers and the few minor updates that they did. This is a train wreck of a patch, in my opinion. Yeah, I hope you guys do better. Again, I'm sorry to be so negative about this stuff, but KVK is bad. Changes that they've made are bad to the cities. I hope they reconsider that. That's my main beef. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening to my fucking rant. I'm gonna edit this thing down and get it out to you all. Appreciate it. Adios. Till next time.